So day 3, we got up super early. Honda picked us up at our hotel and drove us out of Tokyo, through the countryside, and sort of into the mountains to Twin Ring Motegi, where they have a couple race circuits, and that's also where their Honda collection hall is.
So this is a special exhibition just held for this month, so you guys are lucky to be here on this occasion, and this is Soichiro Honda's life.
The tour started off with a temporary installation about the life of Soichiro Honda, which was really interesting. It went through powering bikes with gas motors, to having a factory, to World War II, and talking about how racing sort of drove Honda's development.
Soichiro Honda was an elementary school graduate. He does not have an academic degree, but he was so he was so obsessed with cars and anything driven by engines. So after the graduation of elementary school, he started working at an automotive workshop, and he became the president of that branch. The guy with the sunglasses is a Soichiro Honda, young Soichiro Honda. This car is actually a one-off racing car made by Soichiro Honda himself. So after the World War II, Japan, the whole land in Japan was totally devastated. He got on this idea to combine a very small military surplus engine. Actually, this small engine was used for US military as a generator for transceivers. So he bought several of them and started putting on bicycles with utilizing, this is called yutampo in Japanese. This is actually where you keep hot water and take it into futon bed, so that throughout the whole night your bed is kept warm. So he converted this water tank into fuel tank for this bicycle engine.
Then we walked around the rest of the hall, several floors, and just saw hundreds of beautiful historic motorcycles and cars. It was amazing. Just these pristine old vehicles throughout history.
So this is a Type A, one of the very first Honda's product, utilizing the small engine attached on a bicycle frame. And this one is a Type C. This one, Honda started manufacturing the frames on its own. But later, this is called Cub F-Type. To lower the center of the gravity, Soichiro Honda installed the tiny engine in a very low position and installed this impressive white tank on the rear side. So Honda was pretty good in producing a smaller motorcycle like those you have seen. But American Honda, which was expanding its business in the United States, requested Japan R&D Center, give us larger bikes, bigger bikes. We would like to compete against British bikes and Italian bikes. But it was difficult to understand the necessity for the Japanese engineers because of the physical difference. Mm-hmm. These bikes are too big for the Japanese engineer around that time. And this is the CB754, the first mass-produced large bike with 4 cylinders. And this is a fast mass-produced bike with disc brakes, which around that time still was an aviation technology. This is the famous Civic with CVCC engine. This became a big hit even in the States, not only in Japan, but in the States too. The car was launched in 1973, and there became the first and second oil shock. Even Americans were not happy with maintaining gas guzzlers, and actually many Cadillac dealerships wanted to sell this car as a second franchise.
Now the Civic name, does that come from the CVCC?
No, Civic name was first.
First? Okay.
Yes. This car was to make a new basic standard for every citizens in the world. So the name was given, the Civic name was given to this car. Around the same era, Honda launched a supercar, NSX. And NSX later had a very enthusiastic derivative called NSX-R. That was the beginning of the Type R history. Later, Type R name was inherited to the Integra and then to Civic. So all these cars have championship white color, which has an origin of the very fast Formula One car. As I said, Soichiro Honda wanted to paint it in gold, but South Africa had the right to paint Formula One cars in gold, so we painted it in ivory after Japanese flag with the red circle on ivory. This is a Formula One RA271, which we took to Formula One racing for the first time. In 1964, we took this machine to 3 Formula One GPs, and out of which we retired every race. So, and the same year, 1964, is the period we started producing S500 and T360 trucks. So people's perception throughout the world, even in Japan, is that Honda is a motorcycle manufacturer. Why are you coming to Formula One? Because we wanted to challenge. So this is the second era of the Honda Formula One racing. Started with the Spirit Honda and Williams and Lotus and famous McLaren Honda.
Then we come around a corner and we see an F1 car in red and white livery. And I immediately got goosebumps. And as we walked closer, I could make out the letters SENNA, and got to stand right there in front of the car, arguably the greatest racer of all time.
This is MP44 winning machine that Ayrton Senna drove at the time, when he won the 15 races out of 16. And we won 69 victories in more or less 10 years of the Formula One racing.
So yeah, if you are an automotive history fan, I think the Honda Collection Hall at Motegi is a pilgrimage to be made, and it's an absolute must if you're a Honda fan. It was just fantastic.